Hey there. If you're wondering why your business isn't growing, it may have nothing to do with your content and everything to do with your foundation. In this video, I am breaking down the 5 biggest business foundation mistakes that are costing you money, costing you clients, and peace of mind, and how to fix them without burning out. I am Tenicia Moulden. I am an attorney. I work with small and medium-sized business owners, helping them their brand, build their business, and most importantly, own everything regarding their creative output and their intellectual property. So what are we talking about here today? Today, I really want to share some of the five biggest business foundation mistakes that people are making, especially entrepreneurs, first generation entrepreneurs. And the quicker we get past that, the better. So let's start with one of the first things that I see, and that is going into agreements, be verbal without a written contract. Sometimes it can go well, sometimes not, because what can happen is without the contract, you don't set the expectation. And this can be really the one thing that entrepreneurs have, their most valuable asset is their time. You can lose a lot of time and mostly sometimes money if you haven't had a contract or have not had it reviewed. Even if you write it yourself until you can get a professional to do it, it's better to set the tone and have that in place. Another thing that sometimes happens, I've seen that this happen more often than one would like, is you didn't protect your IP and it gets copied. I've had that happen with clients and they've had to rebrand, but at the same time, you have the opportunity to protect that. And there are ways to protect your brand and start the process. You want to grab the website address, the domain address. You want to grab social media handles. Start documenting when you first start using your mark. That means keep a Google Sheet, Google Docs, whatever it is, to document the date, the place that you use it, the time, all the things, document that. And we don't want to miss out on this other thing, is to legally structure your business. So when you get to a point that you validated your offer, when I say validate, that means they started selling and you found some market traction, you want to create your corporation or your LLC, and whatever state that you're in, create the LLC or the corporation in the state of your jurisdiction. You don't want to miss that opportunity or create any type of situation that may cause you penalties or tax issues. Get it set up right the first time. So I kind of alluded to some of the mistakes, and I said there were 5 core mistakes, and I just mentioned one of them, and that is no legal entity. What happens if you skip this is that you could miss out on opportunities, because sometimes when you go into agreements or contracts, they're looking for this business to be quote unquote legit. I think you're a legit business even without this, but this can provide you the opportunity to enter into other contracts. And also, you don't want to commingle. As soon as you start generating any type of revenue, you want to create your separate entity, because you don't want a personal liability for your entity. That should be separate from each other. So the easy way to do this is just go to your whatever state that you're in. More likely than not, you can go to that state and research how to start one. If you're not comfortable with that, you can hire a professional to assist you with that, to get you through that. Okay, mistake number 2, no contracts. Oh, weak contracts. Sometimes you have contracts and they may be weak, but I have to say that just because it's in writing in a DM does not make it binding. If you're direct messaging people, it is not binding in a contract. And I know we all make this mistake. I've even done that, where I've been said something verbally to someone. It's been over the phone, and then next thing I know, what happens on the other side is not what we agreed on. But could that have been alleviated? Could that have been eliminated, that confusion, if it had been in writing? One of the clauses that I like to put into a contract is the purpose. What is the purpose of us entering into this agreement? Okay, mistake number 3. You don't own your brand. So no trademark, no copyright. You could have real world risk. And this is infringing on someone else's mark or someone infringing on yours, meaning that someone is using the mark for someone else, or you could be using someone else's mark unknowingly. One of the best things you can do is do your research ahead of time. Research, once you start getting traction, that again is one of the foundational things, is to validate your offer. Once you start getting traction and people are buying your product or service, then you want to do that portion of research, make sure you can still use the brand assets that are being recognized that you're using. And once you start going through that process, that's what we do. We help you work through how to register your IP, but you can always go to the USPTO website to learn more about that. And there are plenty of resources there. Number 4, your offers aren't clear or positioned for growth. You might have the content, but you're not getting conversions. So one of the things that I would say is clarity. Clarity will build trust. So if you're unclear in what you're offering, that kills the trust. And obviously that doesn't convert. And you do have to sometimes tweak things and say things over and over again, or try different ways in your messaging, because it may not be that no one wants what you have. It may just be the way you articulate that to the market. And you have to try something new. Just keep track of that. One of the things that we do with our clients is the 90-day rule, and sometimes less than 90 days. But take whatever you're doing and give it your all. Put it out into the universe. Put it out into the market for 90 days and gain the information that you need. Test. This is just an experiment. Test out the messaging and see how it resonates with your audience. What does resonate, and take note of that. If someone buys based upon a certain phrase that you use, and if it's aligned to your brand, you still want to do that. All right. Mistake number 5, no back-end systems. Email, onboarding, funnels. I really think that it cannot scale, and I don't like to use cannot. I think it's hard to scale if you're hustling. I don't think hustling equals scaling at all. But these are the 3 systems that I say you start: marketing, sales, delivery. Those are your systems that you need to start with to get together. If any of this sounds familiar, you are not behind. You're just building, and you have better tools now. Anyway, if you want my help on cleaning up your foundation so your business is ready to scale, me help you build your business, protect your brand, and own everything. Watch any of the videos that's on my channel. Also grab one of the checklists that's attached to this video or any of the other videos and let me know how I can help you.